Today's yoga practice, and you'll notice I'm already sitting. Today's yoga practice is a yin and yang practice. So there are no standing poses. There are no poses on your knees. So it's all about taking a longer duration in the poses to let those muscles really receive the maximum benefit of the poses. But we won't do all of the poses as yin poses. In between each yin pose, we will take a 30-second pose to move a little bit, just a little mobility, and then we'll go back into another yin pose. So the props that you need today, and this is optional, but you'll find you can probably get a little bit more comfortable in those longer duration poses if you have a pillow or a bolster. I have a yoga bolster behind me here. So if you don't have a specific yoga bolster, you can use any pillow or cushion. So I'm going to back up because we are going to start in a reclined position. Now you can use your bolster or your pillow for your spine and just let that bolster support your spine and come into a reclined position. You can have your knees bent or you can extend your legs long. Just go ahead and get comfortable in your reclined pose. Maybe close your eyes. Your hands could rest on your belly or on the mat, or maybe at your heart center. Make sure you relax the shoulders wherever you are and maybe connect with your breathing. So if your hands are touching your torso, just try to make your hands expand with the breath, the inhalation, the expansion of your lungs inside the rib cage. Or if your hands are resting on the mat, just do it with your own senses. Sense that exhalation, the feeling of that breath out the nose on your upper lip. Hear the sound, feel the vibration in the back of your throat. Visualize that rib cage expanding. Just take a few more moments here just to relax and center yourself, prepare yourself for today's slow practice. The benefits of yin yoga are incredible for calming the mind as well as allowing those muscles to really relax into the poses. Take one more breath cycle here. And we're going to come to a seated position for our first set of poses. So you can either do one sit-up or be gentle and just drop those bent knees to the side and push into the earth and come to a seated pose. We are going to start in staff pose. So sit tall and then change this into our twist, Bharadvaja's twist. So a couple options here. You can tuck both knees next to your right hip. Your left foot is underneath your right thigh, so your right hip is slightly elevated. Now, if this is not comfortable to have both knees bent, you could leave this top leg extended, and that'll give you a larger foundation. So you pick either one, and we're going to go into our twist here, relaxing the shoulders. Inhale, exhale, turn towards the left. I will start a 3-minute timer here. Sitting tall. Now, if you want, you could use your bolster here just next to you, just to rest your hands on that cushion or pillow. I'm going to show some options here, but these are, like I said, optional, so you can keep your eyes closed and just stay here in this totally static pose, or if you want to add a little deeper twist, you can take that left hand and place it on the mat behind your body. Breathe. If you started with one leg extended, you can go ahead and maybe see how it feels to bend that second leg. You don't have to stay there. You can straighten it back out again if you like. If you want to take your twist another step deeper, you can take that left hand all the way to your low back. And you feel an extra stretch through the left shoulder as well as a deeper twist. And visualize the symbol, the yin and yang symbol, that circle, half light and half dark, yet each has a seed of the opposite color. So within that half dark circle is our yin side, but within that is a light dot, the yang within the yin, which means you can move here. You don't have to be totally stationary. You could move your head if you like, adding a little mobility for the neck. Close your eyes. Because we don't have music, I'm going to include an extra quote during each of our poses. Our first quote is from Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, and she wrote, there are no mistakes and no coincidences. All events are blessings given to us to learn from. So think about that. What we might think is an accident or a coincidence. Think of it in terms of something to learn from. Take one more breath cycle. And now release your twist. Extend your legs forward. And we're just going to go into a little mobility here, just 30 seconds worth of turning. Fingertips to the right, fingertips to the left. So we were holding that twist for 3 entire minutes. And this is just an opportunity to move out of that static pose. If you feel dizzy at all, don't turn your head, just turn the shoulder girdle and rib cage. I apologize for the barking dogs. There must be somebody walking by. One more to each side. And pause. And we're going to go into that twist again, that static twist for 3 minutes. This time we'll tuck both feet next to the left hip. And again, if you start here and that doesn't feel right, then go ahead and extend one leg. The top leg is extended. You still have your right foot tucked underneath your left thigh, so your left hip is slightly elevated. Lift up through the rib cage and then turn towards the right. Going into our twist, second side. You can place that left hand against that right thigh and just add a little pressure. See how that changes your twist? You could have one or both hands resting on your bolster if you like, or you can keep that left hand resting on the thigh. Breathe, close your eyes. Set your awareness to the benefit of this pose. Visualize your spine and the connection to the pelvic girdle. Visualize that twist. See the spine as a youthful part of your body with flexibility and mobility. The longer we stay in this twist, the more the spine becomes accustomed to this flexible, mobile pose. Maybe you're at the point where you want to go deeper into your twist and you can take that right hand and rest it on the mat behind you, or maybe rest it on your low back. And you don't have to stay there for the entire 3 minutes. You could take a couple breath cycles and then bring that hand back in front or on your bolster. Breathe. Remember the seed of yang within your yin if you want to move your head. Maybe a little tiny figure 8. And I'll give you another quote, also from Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. And she wrote, "You are worthy and lovable just as you are, just on your own." So think of your worthiness, being lovable, being hugged, being cared for. Having someone smile at you. And take one more breath cycle. And release your twist. Extend both legs forward again. And we'll go into that moving twist again, the same one. Just gently touching your fingertips to one side and then the other. And remember, if it makes you dizzy, then don't turn your head. Just continue to gaze forward and move through the shoulder girdle and the rib cage. Just ease a little motion back into the stillness. One more breath cycle. And release to center. We'll go into our next set of yin poses. This one also is an upright seated pose. We'll get into the folds in just a moment, but we'll do one more upright pose, and that's our figure 4 stretch for those deep muscles in the hips. So draw your right foot on top of your left thigh. Recline slightly. And here, if you want, you could put your bolster behind you. Recline gently onto your cushion or bolster, and then bend your left knee. Set the pose up for your stretch. Remember, we'll be here for 3 minutes. So if you want, keep that left foot a little bit further away than maybe you would normally do if we were only holding it for 3 breath cycles. Or if you want, you could draw it a little closer, maybe just for 3 breath cycles, and then come back out of it. Remember, you can keep changing the intensity of the pose for the entire 3 minutes. Keep the feet relaxed, wiggle the toes on both feet. Let your hips be heavy on the mat. Close your eyes. You can bow your head, but don't cave your shoulders forward. Think about externally rotating through the shoulders, even as you bow your head. Set your awareness to the specific benefit of this pose, the deep muscles in the right hip, gluteus medius and piriformis. Keep those toes relaxed. Remember, you can add motion of the head if you like, maybe bowing and lifting the chin. Or maybe once again, that figure 8 tracing. Or you could turn your head over one shoulder and then turn it over the opposite shoulder. But don't forget about your hips. Continue to let them feel heavy, as if there were a magnet beneath your hips, pulling them down into the earth, sinking onto your mat. I'll give you another quote now as we finish our last minute. This one from Judge Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And she wrote, "Reacting in anger or annoyance will not advance one's ability to persuade." Think about your reactions, how to persuade. With confidence, charm, sensitivity, heavy hips, deep breath cycles. And release. release the pose. Sending that left foot forward, sending the right foot forward. And we're going to go into a little motion here of just easing the chest forward and then back up. Going through cat and cow here. Cow as you come forward, cat as you roll back. Just a little easing motion, bending at the hips. We were just still in the hips for 3 minutes, so we're just moving them ever so slightly. Let's do one more pattern of that seated cow and cat. And then sit tall. And we'll go into our figure 4, opposite side. So draw your left foot in, place the ankle on top of the thigh. Recline, placing your hands on the mat or on your bolster itself, whatever's comfortable to you. And then bend your right knee. Relax the shoulders. Try not to become a turtle here. So here's what a turtle looks like. You sink the head down into the shoulders draw up, and that's not a good pose for our posture. I apologize again. This is, think of this as a challenge for your yin experience. Right now, that's the yang part of our yin. So yin, in addition to being dark with the light of yang, it can also be quiet. And then with the noise of yang. Maybe draw that right foot in a little closer. Breathe. Heavy hips. Wiggle your toes if you like. Make sure the feet are relaxed. Again, if you want to move your head here, drawing the chin down towards one shoulder and the other. Deep breaths, calming breaths, hopefully some quiet breaths. And I'll give you another quote from Judge Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Reading is the key that opens doors to many good things. Reading shapes dreams, and more reading makes dreams come true. Think about the things that you read that shape your dreams. Think about your dreams. Let your dreams not just be dreams of sleep, but dreams of waking up to make your dreams reality. Take one more breath cycle. Open your eyes. Slide your feet forward, sitting tall. Then we'll go into that seated cat, seated cow. Again, let your hands rest. As you ease the chest forward, drawing the shoulders back, a little arch in the back, and then round your back, tuck your chin. Do that again, coming forward with an extended spine, and then lifting up with a flexed spine. As if you were drawing a circle with your chin. One more pattern. And we sit tall. Our next pose is a folded pose. Now we're going to get a little bit more of a stretch into the low back. And now you might want that cushion or bolster in front so that you can drape your body on that. We'll show that as an option. But we're going to go into head to knee pose. So draw your right foot in, place the knee down on the mat. Now if you need an extra cushion underneath your ankle. If that ankle bone pressing into the mat is not comfortable, you could even add an extra little support under the knee. So be comfortable for your 3-minute pose. Lift up through the rib cage, fold at the hip crease, and let your hands rest on your leg. Or as an option, this is where you can bring that bolster. You can prop it against your leg, or you can leave it flat on the floor. You could even prop it on your leg. So come into whatever pose, whatever variation of the pose is comfortable to you. Keep your spine long. Feel that stretch in the low back, the right hip, the right outer thigh, and as well the back of the left leg, the extended leg. You can take an option here to deepen the stretch in that low back muscle called the QL by walking the hands to the outside of that left leg. You could even move your bolster there, adding that deeper twist. If you want to add some motion here for the face, you could add a little yawn, stretching the facial muscles. Adding that seed of yang within our yin pose. And remember, you can always readjust, change your variation whenever you want. Let your hips feel heavy on the earth. Let your left leg feel heavy on the earth. Make space between the rib cage and the hips. Grow your spine. And I'll give you a quote now from Dr. Seuss. It is better to know how to learn than to know. True statement, my friends. So much more important to be open to learning, to education, than to think that you already know. Take one more breath cycle. And slowly ease yourself up from the pose. Extend both legs forward. And we're going to go into a little slow motion sprinter here with an upright spine, drawing one arm forward and the opposite elbow back, and then switching. Just gently twisting the rib cage here. In an upright pose, easing out of that folded pose with a little motion. One more to each side. And relax. We'll go into head to knee second side, Janu Shirsasana. Drawing your left foot in, lower the knee. And again, if you want to tuck a hand towel or a cushion underneath your ankle, if that makes it a little more comfortable, you can. Bringing your cushion or a bolster back in front if you want to use that for your arms, but you don't have to. You can place your hands on the earth or on your leg. Folding from the hip crease, allow that spine to be long. Maybe use your bolster if you like. Reach your head towards your right toes. Feel that length through the spine. Remember, we're trying to make space between the rib cage and the hips. Opening up the space between each vertebra and its adjacent vertebra. If your left knee is not comfortable, if all you can think about right now is, oh, my knee is bent so much it really doesn't feel good, then change it. You are in control. If you have too much flexion on that left knee, move the left foot down closer to the right knee instead of up towards the groin. Change the position. Listen to your body. You want to be able to relax into the pose. And to do that, you might start with a smaller range of motion. Allow your body to be comfortable in the pose. Just coming to the edge where you can feel the stretch, but no strain. You want to feel stretch, but no strain. And I'll give you another quote from Dr. Seuss. It's not about what it is. It's about what it can become. And you could replace the word it with your own pronoun. It's not about what I am, it's what about I can become. What is your potential? What are your dreams? You have so much within you. Power, strength, imagination, intelligence. Heavy hips, long spine. Take one more breath cycle. And start to slowly lift your chest up. Ease yourself out of the pose. Moving your props aside, extending your legs forward, coming into your staff pose again. And we'll go back into that slow motion sprinter. Drawing one arm forward and the opposite elbow back and switching. Spine remains tall. One more to each side. And release. We're going to go into another folded pose here. This one we'll only do once. It's a bilateral pose, so we're getting both sides in the single pose, and that is open angle fold. So draw your legs into a V shape. It could be a shallow V, a moderate V, or a wide V. You can bring your prop in front of you, position it either vertically or horizontally, whatever is going to be comfortable for you. And we're going to go into our fold. First, let's start by lifting the chest and then easing it forward. And now, remember, start small with your range of motion. If you're feeling a lot of stretch through those inner thigh and groin muscles, maybe you stay here for a moment. Draw the shoulders down, drop the elbows down. Breathe. You can bow the head, but keep reaching the head forward. And maybe as you sit there for a few breath cycles, you can draw your elbows onto your bolster. Remember, you can bow the head, but keep reaching it forward. Drop those shoulders away from the ears. You don't want to become a turtle, even though you're looking down at the floor. You don't want to sink inwards into your shoulders like this. You want to keep that length through the spine. And if you want to add a little motion here, you can do some things with your feet. You can flex and point. You can splay the toes and relax. You can also press the backs of the knees down into the earth and then relax. Just activating different muscles. And the motion is so small, it's almost as if we are still stillness. Deep yoga breaths in and out through the nose. Listen for the sound of your breath. Visualize that rib cage. And I'll give you another quote. This one from Mahatma Gandhi. And he wrote, "The future depends on what you do today." So the future is not some nebulous thing with no roots in what we are today. The future depends on the right now. We're creating the foundation for the future with every step of our journey. Observe your body. Inventory the muscles. Is there anything you need to back away? One more breath cycle. And slowly start to lift up out of that pose. Move your props aside. Pick up your knees from underneath. Set your feet flat on the mat, going into windshield wipers here. So recline slightly, bring your hands behind you, and we'll just start to drop those bent knees from side to side. Again, complementing that open angle fold with bent legs and moving legs. And a more upright spine, only slightly reclined. One more to each side. And release those legs back to their straight leg position. We're going to switch into supine poses now. So go ahead and lie on your backs, and we're going to start with cat pulling its tail. Keep your props available. You may want to use them underneath a hip or underneath a leg. So lying all the way down onto your back, you can use your core muscles to get there, or you can help yourself down with your elbows. And then once you make it down to the mat, extend your legs long, and then draw your right leg across the body to the left, and bend the left knee. So I know you can see my straight leg extending towards, the opposite leg is bending away, so the foot is away from the device. And cat pulling its tail, you're going to try to reach down and grab that left foot. So props that you might want, maybe this leg that's extended, maybe that's not comfortable and you want to place your bolster underneath that leg. Maybe you'd like to use a pillow under your head. So go ahead and get comfortable in your pose, and then grab your cattail, your left foot, with your right hand. And now relax that right shoulder. As you reached up to grab the foot, your shoulder probably came forward. Once you make the connection, hand to foot, allow that shoulder to relax back. Couple options for your left hand. You can let it rest on your belly. You can open it out to a T or a cactus arm, or you can let it rest on that right leg, maybe up at the thigh, maybe the calf, maybe bend the knee and you'll make a connection so that you're grabbing your big toe. Maybe you stay there for a couple breath cycles and then you release it. Listen to you and your body. Remember to start with a smaller range of motion and then grow into a larger range of motion. Breathe. Keep that right shoulder relaxed. Think about the flexion on that bent knee, the left knee. If it's too much, just ease it off a little bit. If you cannot reach your left foot with your right hand and just go wherever you can. Maybe your fingertips are just barely touching the ball of the foot. That's okay too. And I'll give you another quote. This one is from Anne Frank. And she wrote, "Think of all the beauty still left around you and be happy." And what makes that quote so amazing is when you think about her predicament, her situation, and yet she still had that philosophy to look for the beauty. So whatever your situation, my friends, look for the beauty and be happy. There's beauty everywhere. Even on a rainy day, look at the beauty of the raindrops giving the grass a drink of water. Take one more breath cycle. Release that left foot. Go ahead and draw that right leg back across. Adjust your back body. And we're going to go into our yang pose here by drawing the knees towards your chest, placing your hands on your knees, and then just pushing the knees in and out. Apanasana. Massaging the low back here, that same motion of knees going in and out slightly lifts the hips and massages the low back. Also stimulates the organs of the digestive system. One more breath cycle. And release those legs down. And we'll go into cat, pulling its tail on the opposite side. I'm going to have to scoot a little bit towards you so that I can extend both legs and then take my left leg all the way across my body. I want that leg to be extended. So if you want, you can take that bolster. I'm going to angle my body slightly. And now the right leg is bent. And you're going to reach down with your left hand and make that connection. Or again, maybe you're just barely brushing the fingertips to the ball of the foot. That's okay too. Once you make a connection, you want to relax that shoulder. So go ahead and let that left shoulder relax down. And again, you can place your right hand on your belly. You can bring it out in a cactus arm or a T, or let it rest on the leg. Survey your body. What's going on with your right knee? Is it feeling any strain? If it is, let go of the foot for a moment. Just allow the knee to be bent without the pressure of pulling the tail. And then maybe once it's relaxed, then you can add cat pulling the tail. Let your jaw relax. Let there be space between your molars. Your throat is relaxed, your tongue, your cheekbones. Come into a very relaxed face. Let the space between your brow be soft. Breathe. Close your eyes. And I'll give you another quote from Anne Frank. And she wrote, "Whoever is happy will make others happy." So think about being contagious with happiness. What a wonderful thing to catch from someone else. Their smile, their sunny disposition. So share your smiles, my friends. Let others be happy. Let your smile be the seed that grows a smile on someone else's face. Take just a few more breath cycles here. And now release that right foot. Draw the left leg back across the body. Come back onto your spine. Lying on your back. And we'll go back into that moving pose, Apanasana. Draw the knees into the chest. Place your hands on the knees and then push and pull the knees in and out. Feel that massage in the low back. Feel that little stretch across the back side of your hips. And visualize the digestive system getting its bonus here. One more breath cycle. And release the feet down. Extend the legs long. You can keep your pillow underneath your head if that's comfortable. We're going to go into banana stretch here. So you probably won't need your bolster for this one. I'm just going to set it off to the side. And we're going to bring our limbs towards the left on the first banana stretch. So pick up both feet and walk the heels over to the bottom left corner of your mat. Cross the right ankle over the left. And now lift your head and shoulders and shift your head and shoulders towards the top left corner of your mat. Bring your arms overhead and grab your right wrist with your left hand. We're creating that rainbow shape or that banana shape with your body. Stretching down the right side of the body by moving the feet and arms to the left. Adding the crossed ankles and grabbing the wrist enhances the stretch, but if you want to relax that, if you want to release the wrist or uncross the ankles, you can change the position. You can add the variation that's right for you. Let your feet relax. Try not to overly flex the feet. Work your way up from the feet now. Let your calves relax. The knees, the thighs, your hips heavy on the mat. Your low back has a natural curve. We're accentuating that curve here with the stretch. So we're in a little baby extension. We will complement that when we come out of our yin pose. But first I'll give you another quote. This one from Eleanor Roosevelt. And she wrote, "Nothing has ever been achieved by the person that says it can't be done." It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, my friends, to say it can't be done. You set yourselves up for never accomplishing it. So believe in yourselves. Believe in your power, your strength, your intelligence, your imagination. Allow the body to relax into your banana. 2 more breath cycles. Uncross your ankles, release your wrist, bring everything back to center. And now we want to release that spinal extension that we just had. So bend both knees, allow the low back to make a nice connection. And we're just going to drop the knees side to side. Your arms can be alongside your body or out to a T or maybe cactus arms, whatever gives you stability. Massaging the low back and hips here with a gentle windshield wiper motion. Pause at center and extend your legs long again. We'll go into our banana stretch on the other side. So pick up your heels and walk them over to the bottom right corner of your mat and cross your left ankle over your right. Pick up your head and shoulders and move your head and shoulders to the top right corner of your mat. Extend your arms overhead and grab your left wrist with your right hand. Yawn if you like. Stretching those facial muscles. We'll go into our banana stretch, second side. Feel the length down the left side body. Let your hips be heavy and supported. Relax your face, your brow, your throat and your tongue. Maybe you can pause here and practice your Ujjayi breath, your victory breath. Remember the sensation of fogging up the mirror on the exhalation, even though your mouth is closed. Feel that vibration of the exhalation in the back of your throat, as if you were trying to fog up a mirror in front of your mouth, but keep your lips closed. The inhalation of your Ujjayi breath is also in the back of the throat. You want to feel that vibration and hear the vibration as if you were sipping in a drink through a straw to the back of your throat. But don't gulp the air. Keep the throat relaxed. And I'll give you another quote from Eleanor Roosevelt. She said, or she wrote, "Before we can make friends with anyone else, we must first make friends with ourselves." Love yourselves, my friends. Practice self-love. Give yourself affirmations. That helps. Look at any positive characteristic and find it within you. Maybe you're a nurturing person. Say it out loud. I am nurturing. Maybe you're a creative person. Say it out loud. I am creative. Maybe you're very honest and truthful. Say it out loud. I am honest and truthful. Take one more breath cycle. And release your wrists. Uncross your ankles. Come back to the center of your mat with your head and your feet. Bend both knees. Plant your feet flat. Adjust your low back. Set your feet wide. Again, you could rest your hands on your belly or on the earth. And now start your little windshield wiper motion, easing out of the stillness with some motion, and that also massages the low back and pelvis area. One more breath cycle. Pause the motion. And we're going to go into supine bound angle. So walk the insides of your feet together. Adjust your low back. And then open the knees out to the side. As your knees open out, you're going to feel that arch in your low back. That's your normal curve there. If you need to place a little cushion under your back instead of under your head, if that's more comfortable, you can do that. You can trade, use your bolster for your head if you like. You can rest your hands on your inner thighs. You could also tuck cushions or blankets underneath the outer thigh area to give your legs support in this pose. Relax your shoulders. Think about externally rotating your shoulders, drawing the scapula together towards the center of your back. Relax your face, your brow. Again, let there be space between your molars. Survey your body. If you need to move your props or adjust your position, make those variations. Listen to your body. Deepen your breathing, enhance your respiration. Think about lengthening your breath cycle. Slow it down. And then try to make the duration of the inhale match the duration of the exhale. And I'll give you another quote. This one from Walt Disney. And he wrote, "The difference between winning and losing is most often not quitting." If you quit, you're always going to lose, my friends. If you stay in it for the long haul, believe in yourself, persevere, in the end, you are a winner. We're going to come out of this pose by placing the hands on the outsides of the thighs to support the legs as they draw back into the midline. If you have props underneath your back, go ahead and slide the prop away. And we're going to go into a little bicycle motion here. So place your palms flat on the earth, pick up both feet, and just add a little tiny cycling motion here. Release that low back. It was in an extension for those entire 3 minutes. So start very small. Let that low back come back into motion slowly because it was in stillness for 3 minutes. One more breath cycle. And pause. Our final yin pose is legs up the wall. So if you want to use a chair instead of a wall, you can. I'll show that option here just turning your bottoms towards the chair and placing your calves on the chair seat. I'm using this banquette behind me here. Draw your bottoms as close as you can. If you want that cushion for your head, you can place the cushion under your head. So here's one option for legs up the wall pose. If you want to actually use the wall, draw your bottoms as close as you can to the wall. So I've got my legs kind of off to the side to get my bottom as close as I can to the wall, and then extend your legs up the wall. If you want, you can even place a cushion underneath your bottoms, and then relax your feet. So here's what not to do. Don't flex your feet and tense up those muscles. Go ahead and relax the feet. Breathe, close your eyes, let your hands rest on either your belly or they can rest down on the earth. This is our last yin pose. So if you don't have a wall available to you in your space, or you don't have a chair, if you want to come into corpse pose instead, that's another option. Or you can also go into the position that we started our practice in, and that was with the bolster on your mat and lying your spine on your bolster. Lots of options, my friends. In this pose of legs up the wall, with your legs above the rest of your body, you're promoting circulation to the upper body here, stimulating the brain, as well as calming the entire body in this pose. You get a little stretch for the backs of the legs as well. Breathe. Survey your entire body. Our yin poses today are meant to let those muscles become longer and more relaxed with the 3-minute duration. So set your awareness, inventory your body. Think about the poses we started, the upright seated poses with twisting, and then the folded seated pose. And within our quiet, we have once again the yang of my puppies. I apologize. We'll just take 3 more breath cycles here. And to come out of our legs up the wall pose, we want to do it very slowly like we came into it. Start by bending the knees towards your body. Rolling onto your side, allowing the knees to come down to the earth. And then push into the earth. And we'll come to a seated pose to finish our practice here. You can sit with your legs extended, or you can come into a cross-legged pose, whatever's comfortable to you. And we'll finish with a quote here. My quote is from a Major League Baseball player named Leon Brown. And he wrote, "The answers you seek never come when the mind is busy. They come when the mind is still, when silence speaks loudest." Part of the benefit of our yin practice. My friends, bring your hands outside your hips, inhale to the sky, let your thumbs touch your mind, your spirit, breath in your body. The spirit in me honors the spirit in all of you. Namaste, Thank you for joining me for our yin-yang practice today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope your muscles feel good. Until next time, keep breathing.